Hey, so this video gets kind of real. I didn't expect it to become as serious of a video as this, but I felt like I needed to bring up a specific plot point in JoJolion to really delve into YASUHO'S character. Just so you know in advance, I'll be discussing themes of suicide in this video. Part 8 starts really similarly to Part 4. We're introduced to this person with seemingly no relation to the plot, but they cross paths with the main JoJo of the part and become never-endingly intertwined with their narrative. But obviously, these people being Yasuho and Koichi, and through their interactions with the Joestars and their family, they grow immensely as people. However, Yasuho's connection to Josuke is much more integral to his growth compared to Koichi's with his Josuke. Yasuho's importance cannot be understated because of her role as Josuke's guiding light and as Josuke's essentially first person he ever meets for his new life. She is essentially his everything for a really long period of time as he tries to figure out who he is. Araki knows this and really closely ties Josuke and Yasuho together throughout this narrative, and he does so really well by giving them really meaningful interactions, more than just actual plot significant stuff, but it shows how much they really do care about each other and just act normal with each other, which I think is something that's very, very hard to come by in JoJo's. Now, I assume if you're watching this video from my channel, you've most likely seen my Toru video, and in that and also in my part 8 ending video, I talk a lot about Araki constantly putting these false death flags on her. It was pretty annoying, not gonna lie, and as someone who reads One Piece, I definitely know false death flags can be really annoying. So having her constantly be used for dramatic tension when evidently I knew that she wouldn't die was pretty annoying. But overall, I still really enjoy her as a character, and there's a lot of aspects to her that I feel definitely could have been developed further. But overall, again, I feel like she was definitely one of the best characters to come from part 8. Now, you might mention that I said earlier that Yasuho is meant to be sort of a guide, someone who leads Josuke to having this realization of who he is, while also being this beacon of hope for us and him and the world of JoJolion, being one of the most innocent and optimistic people in the series. And I think this is very, very noticeable in her stand ability, Paisley Park, which is literally meant to be sort of a guiding thing. It literally looks like a GPS map, and it is meant to show the truth and information from people that we normally wouldn't be able to receive. And something that is obviously meant to represent finding out the truth will always be put in danger. Yasuho is not an offensive type stand at all. She is a very support focused person, and unfortunately because of this, she's always put in danger from people like Jobin and the rock humans. She is seen as a really big threat and someone who can lure Josuke, which unfortunately puts her in this position where she has to be seen as a damsel in distress sort of figure to a lot of people in the community, and it sucks. It really sucks, because I wish that she had the capability to do more, to not be in these situations, to not just have these hanging threads waving around all the time like, oh, is Yasuho gonna die this time? No, because the truth can't die. The truth can be submerged as much as possible, but it's never going to die, because eventually the truth is gonna come out with help from people like Josuke, who can afford to let it come out. Now, it's gonna get kind of real. This chapter was one that really deeply affected me when I read it, and it showed a flashback with Yasuho talking about a pin that she found, and this pin, this rock animal pin, well, rock insect, rock animal, whatever, this pin caused her to just start going crazy and just lose all hope, even to the point where she literally tried to kill herself. And it was pretty crazy, I'm not gonna lie. Reading that was very, very negative for me. I felt as though literally the day I read that, I was just drained immediately, because I didn't want to read it. You know what I mean? I did not think that would ever be brought up for a main character that I actually cared about. You know what I mean? So that sucked. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized Yasuo isn't meant to be this beacon of sadness and isolation and loneliness. She's always such a happy and positive character, and it's really honestly great to see. After learning that, retrospectively looking back on everything Yasuo's done, how she's just this constant delight every time she's on screen and having just nice interactions with Josuke. One that really sticks out to my mind is how just naive and innocent she seems to be still, and it genuinely gives me a lot of optimism, you know, seeing her try to lick her elbow and then be really, really happy that she was able to do such a thing, having her be able to just enjoy this really nice food with Josuke in the ski lift that Mamazuku lives on. I feel like these moments get lost through Josuke's journey to find himself, even though Yasuo is always there trying to keep things lighthearted. The latter half of the story is very action focused and doesn't really give Yasuo and Josuke those meaningful moments that they had earlier on in the part, because they are separate from each other for such a long time, which I think is a bit of a shame, because their moments that they were together really gave the part a really uplifting feeling. The story starts out with Yasuo leading Josuke to kind of try and find out who he is, and at the end he is able to kind of make a new identity, and she leaves happy. And she has literally been this beacon of optimism and hope for Josuke, and seeing her come from such a place of despair makes it feel all the more powerful, in my opinion. So, a bit of a harsh topic, I know, but I did really want to discuss this part, because this was definitely maybe the part of Yasuo that I really felt affected me the most and made her character really, really change in my mind. At first, she was just kind of bubbly, airheaded, you know, the usual kind of trope. But after seeing this and realizing that she's gone through a lot of pain and just suffering, and honestly, she still kind of does, with her family and her mom especially being a drunk who leaves her alone a lot of the time. The fact she's still able to find this optimism and a family and people who care about her and people that just make her happy to be herself is really great. So I just really wanted to talk about this in particular. Overall, I just really wanted to make this video because I think Yasuo is a really great character from JoJolion, but she doesn't really get that level of analysis or sort of enthusiasm I've seen in the JoJo's fandom compared to other characters. Now, obviously this is due to a lot of people just not reading JoJolion yet because it's not an anime, and a lot of the hype in JoJo's at the moment is still focused on part 6, which is about to have an anime starting, I'm pretty sure, a month from now or 2 months from now. So that is pretty exciting stuff, and people just sort of theorizing part 9 now that part 8 has ended. But I still wanted to put this video out because there's a lot about part 8 that I still think is really great to look back on and sort of think about more, because it's just having this series that I've read for such a long time. I like looking back on things and really thinking about how those things affected the way I read the story, or maybe how my thoughts on those things have changed after reading the story or rereading it, stuff along those lines. So I just really wanted to give Yasuo that sort of similar treatment. I know a lot of people are speculating on part 9, since it seems as though it might be a direct continuation from JoJolion, with many characters that we've seen in this world being brought back for the next part, and I still don't really know how I feel about that, I'm not gonna lie. There's been a lot of foreshadowing for stuff like, oh, they said lands a ton of times in JoJolion for the Rokakaka, the lands where it's from, JoJo lands. But again, I'm still not really sure if that's going to be the case. However, if it is the case, I would definitely love to see Yasuo have her story continue. I want to see what she does now that she's accomplished this goal of helping Josuke. I want to know how she's going to continue moving forward, and a bunch of other characters obviously, but Yasuo is definitely a character I want to see more of in the future. So yeah, long time no JoJo's content. Where's the JoJo's content been? Yeah, I've really been wanting to make this video for quite a while, as you might have noticed with the long drought of JoJolion content, but I struggled for quite a bit thinking about Yasuo, because I wanted to just talk about her just having all these fake death flags, and I'm just like, that's really disingenuous, because that's not her character. That's a thing of her character, but that's not her character. You know what I mean? I feel as though that with this video I finally got what I wanted from this video. I really got why I like Yasuo, not why I dislike her writing, because I don't just want to dismiss a character's writing the whole time, because apparently I did that with Toru. But I don't know, my points were still valid, I would say, but whatever. But for this Yasuo video, I really just wanted to get the points across that I enjoy this character. I think she's really, really cool, and even though I think the false death flags were kind of a short end of the stick, I focused more on the positives, which is her really great personality, her really unique fighting style and support, and her flashback, and how that literally caused me to reinterpret her entire character. So I just wanted to highlight those things real quick, because she's a great character, and I feel as though people don't give her the shine that she deserves because of characters like Toru, Josuke, Mamazuku, who are just more popular in the fandom. Obviously, Yasuo is a massive character, but you know what I mean. I don't see as many videos about her as I see about those three. If I'm being fully honest, this video, me sort of really looking into her character and kind of realizing there's a lot there that people don't talk about, and a lot there that really affected me when I was reading it. Yasuo might be one of my favorite JoJo characters as a whole. I just really didn't expect it, you know what I mean? She's always just positive and fun to have on the page, and she actually has like a really gripping narrative to her. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I do plan on doing JoJo's content, obviously. I just was in kind of a drought trying to make sure this video was as good as I could make it. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and have a good one.